Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy you're here. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my 10 healthy habits that I have incorporated over the last couple of years that I think have made the most impact in my life, the way that I live it, the way that I perceive it, and I guess just the way that I show up for other people and for myself. So if you're interested, stick around, let's hop right into it. The one thing that I really fully incorporated into my life and made a huge deal probably like 2 or 3 years ago at this point already was implementing a morning routine that incorporates emotional health, spiritual health, and mental health. Yes, also physical health, but my top 3 were spiritual, mental, and emotional, because in the morning when you first wake up, you are very susceptible to energy and you're very susceptible to programming all around you. And I know that it is such a big habit for people when they wake up to immediately pick up their phone and check social media or check their email or check text messages or whatever. And not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing, but it is definitely influencing your brain and the way that you perceive yourself, the way that you perceive the world, and you're being influenced by all of this different energy that's already being put out there, and you're just in this absorption mode and you're not really filtering things out because you're so susceptible to everything. And I was someone who picked up my phone and turned on social media first thing in the morning. That's what I did all through high school. I felt like shit most of the time. Like, more often than not, I felt like shit after scrolling on social media in the morning. So I decided that was the starting point. That was what I needed to change. And once I changed that, some other things would change naturally and be a little bit easier to build up from. And at the time, my mom and my brother had introduced me to tapping, and they told me that I should try meditating and, you know, potentially getting back into gratitude journaling, because I did do that in high school, but it wasn't something that I could stay consistent with. So my mom was like, maybe get back into your gratitudes, try some meditation, try tapping, and see how you feel. So I made a challenge for myself. I remember when I first did it, I was like, I'm gonna do this for a month, every single morning for a month, just to see how I feel. And within a week or two, I was noticing a significant difference in my overall demeanor, if that makes sense, like my overall disposition towards my day-to-day life and my enjoyment of life. And I loved it. I loved the way that it made me feel. So every morning I wake up, I meditate, I tap, and then I do my gratitude journals, which also is affirmations and my manifestations that I'm working towards. So that's my top 3. That is my foundation. That is something that I do every single day. It's a non-negotiable for me, and it has significantly impacted in a positive way the way that I live my life. Let's continue. The second healthy habit that I have incorporated into my life is physical movement. And I know that this is something that like most people talk about. Like, obviously, to have a healthy lifestyle, you should be incorporating physical movement. But I prioritize finding movement that works for you. I don't stress about it. I don't make myself do a certain amount of time. I do what feels right. And I know that what I'm going to share with you is probably going to either make you mad or confuse you, but realistically, I only do 5 to maybe, which I haven't done this in a long time, but the longest I've done is 15 minutes of an at-home Pilates workout that I pull up on my iPad and I just do it real quick in the morning. That's it. That's all I do. I don't go to the gym and put myself through an hour's workout. I don't go to the gym or a workout class or whatever and do like a half hour or anything like that. I don't take it that seriously, because to be honest with you, past 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, I stop enjoying it. And I want to be present and I want to enjoy what I'm doing. I want it to feel good for my body. And afterwards, I feel good knowing that I gave myself that 10 minutes and I was fully present. I was fully intentional, because you and your intentional time is more powerful than you going and being in the gym for for an hour, and between every set you're checking your phone or you're meandering around the gym or whatever. I'm not a gym person, so I don't know the function of a gym. I don't know what it's like to do an hour's long workout. I don't understand that. It doesn't make sense to me, but that's just where I'm at. I'm not a gym girly, and I probably never will be, nor do I want to be. I like doing my intentional 10-15 minute workout where I am being very aware of my breath work and the muscles that I am engaging and making sure that my form is correct. And I think that is more important than the amount of time that I'm giving. So that's just my personal preference. I chose Pilates. I also do yoga, and I will go for walks at the end of the day with my brother. Those are the three things that I have found that I enjoy the most, that I can be the most present in and the most engaged in. And that's the biggest thing that I recommend for you. Don't just go to the gym because everybody else is going to the gym. Don't just do these workout classes because you see all these other people doing them. Try things, diversify your physical movement, see what works for you. And then when you find something that works for you, do it. Do it on a regular basis. And you don't have to do it for a certain amount of time, okay? There's no right or wrong amount of time. Everybody kind of understands the whole physical movement thing, so that's my opinion of physical movement. Those are the things that I've chosen to incorporate into my life. And speaking of yoga, that brings me into my third healthy habit that I've incorporated, which this one was more recent. This is something that I did this year, and it's something that I want to continue, I hope, going forward, which is choosing one new thing to learn every year. So this year, I already had an interest in yoga, and I always liked the way that it made me feel. And I had an interest in getting certified as a yoga instructor because I was like, I enjoy this. So I chose getting my yoga certification as my new experience of the year. Today is a very exciting day. I have been contemplating doing this for a very long time. It's been something that I've wanted to do for a really long time, and I'm finally doing it. Today I am signing up for a 200-hour online yoga teacher training because I want to be a yoga instructor. I'm really excited. So we're gonna do it. They need my money. I'm doing it, guys. It's happening. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yay! I did it! And the journey begins now. This is something that I want to do. This is something that I want to learn because I think it's so important to, one, invest time in yourself and things that you're interested in. And also, I think it's really important to never stop learning. And when you choose something that, whether you haven't have any prior knowledge or experience in, or it's something completely brand new to you, it is so good to choose something and to devote time to learning it because you're growing. And yeah, sometimes it can feel like you're taking a big risk, but I can guarantee you a risk is always worth taking because really there's only two outcomes with taking a risk. Either you're going to be really successful at it and you're going to enjoy it and it's going to just blossom incredibly, or yeah, you might fail, but with every failure, you gain knowledge, you gain wisdom. Even if it's not like an outright failure, maybe you just don't vibe with it, maybe you don't like it, but you took knowledge from that, you took experience from that, and knowledge and experience are wealth, in my opinion. So when you do an experience, when you try something new, when you take a risk, both outcomes are worth it. Whether you fail or whether you succeed, both are worth it. So I recommend if there's something that you are thinking about doing that maybe feels a little risky, do it. Take the leap of faith because you're going to be rewarded for it either way. Another healthy habit that I have tried to prioritize, I primarily try my best. I would say 80% of the food that I eat is whole foods, and of that 80%, generally I try to eat more protein than anything else. I think that's the biggest change that I've made in my diet, is focusing more on whole foods and eating more protein. But you know, that's just what works for me. It might not work for you. That's okay. The biggest thing is finding the types of foods that work for you, that make you feel your best. I would say eating whole foods has significantly changed the way that my body digests the food that it's eating. So if you didn't know, I used to have a lot of digestion issues. I used to have issues with dairy. I had issues, like severe issues with gluten. And now I don't have any issues with dairy. As for the gluten, it's something that I have slowly been trying to heal and work on, because there is ways to heal a gluten allergy if it's not severe, if it's not celiac disease. I don't have celiac, I have an intolerance, and with intolerances you can restructure your body to be okay with digesting things again. That's just a little bit of my 2 cents. Again, I'm not a nutritionist by any means. I'm just doing what feels right for me and what feels good, and kind of going at my own pace with it. Definitely consult, like if you have any intolerances or anything like that, definitely consult with somebody if you feel that you need to. Like, take everything that I say with a grain of salt, because what works for me might not work for you, and that is perfectly okay, because we are all different in our own rights. Next, I wanted to talk about my lymphatic drainage routine. This is my gua sha routine and the loosening of the lymph nodes throughout my body. So I ran through my routine with you guys. I start at the collarbones, and then I do behind and in front of the ears, and then you have your nose, and then I showed you guys what I do around my jaw, and then across the upper chest, and then into the armpits, your stomach, your pelvic region, and behind the knees. Those are the top points that I focus on for, and I do this every day. I do this every day before I gua sha. I do my lymph node routine, or my lymph node drainage routine, and then I do my gua sha, and I do my posture routine about once a week, and I have actually noticed a significant difference in my posture, and I guess my overall strength in my upper back to like hold me up, to like hold me upright, you know? Those are things that I more recently incorporated. I love doing the gua sha. I think that's more of the physical categories, and now I want to move into the mental and emotional, like well-being categories, I would say. I have so many things that I dip my toes into. Like when I choose to do something, whether it's yoga or doing Pilates or reading or painting or journaling or whatever it is, I want to be very intentional with that time. I want to be present. I want to be in the moment. I don't want to be thinking about other things while I'm doing a certain activity. So I try to be very self-aware with where I'm at, and I have several things to choose from as to ways of quieting my mind and focusing in on the present moment. And I would say that bridges me to my next category, which is being very intentional with the time that you're giving yourself and the things that you're doing in that intentional time. It's really good to have hobbies and passions and pursue those hobbies and passions, and I definitely recommend you find hobbies that you enjoy doing, because those hobbies that you have outside of work, outside of your friends, outside of, you know, your family, that is where you grow within yourself, and to be present in that is so important, because I feel like it's a direct line of connection to me and my higher self, and just like your bigger purpose of being here is to just enjoy life. Like, you're meant to live and enjoy your life, and if you're not enjoying your life, if you find yourself being bored all the time, it's probably because you don't have enough diversity in your life. Your life probably consists of waking up, doing the same thing every morning, going to work, coming home and doing the same thing at night every day, and then you go to bed and you do it all over again the next day. There's so many aspects of who we are as a person, as a soul, that we should be, you know, actively engaging in and doing things that help bring that light out of us. So diversify your life, be intentional with your time that you're spending with yourself, because in the long run you're going to grow as a person and become more of an interesting, well-rounded person, but also you are building a stronger connection with your higher self and your soul and your connection to the universe, to God, whatever feels right to you. You would be strengthening that connection, which is so, so important. And another way to strengthen your connection with God and source and the universe and your higher self is to spend time outside. Spending time outside is so important, because then you can get energetically matched and in tune with the frequency of the universe. So then you would also be like directly in line and in tune with the frequency of nature, which is so beautiful. And like there's such a sense of calm and peacefulness when you are connected to the frequency of nature. It's very grounding. And if you are a person who feels like you're always like up here vibrating at a chaotic energy, or you're very low and you're kind of like dragging ass and you're not feeling the greatest, you're feeling very much in a slump, or you feel like you're in a void or something, if any of those resonate with you, I highly encourage you to go outside, take your socks and shoes off and put your feet in the grass and just stand there or sit for like 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, I promise you, you will feel a difference if you don't have any mental blocks, and if you're completely open to being healed. Literally the ground will heal you. You will be grounded and you will feel calm, and it will balance your energy, it'll balance your frequency, and you can start to think clearly, and that mental fog or that slumpy feeling or that chaotic energy of a tornado that you might feel like you're stuck in will dissipate, and there will be this sense of relaxation. Like you can take a deep breath and you can calm yourself down and you can feel so good and grounded, which is so important. I have three more things to talk about. So I said intentional time with your hobbies and with yourself. I also incorporate a lot of intentional time to reflect. Now, I don't have a set schedule as to when I do this. It kind of just happens whenever I'm feeling a little bit more weighed down, or I have some revelations that have come to me in moments of pause and moments of quiet. There is a benefit to boredom. Sometimes it is good to be bored. It is good for your brain to have that moment of pause and to just sit in your silence and sit with that. And you can learn so much about yourself in that silence. You can learn a lot about your surroundings in that silence. You can receive a lot of wisdom from higher powers, if you will, of, you know, maybe if you're questioning certain things about your life and you sit with it and you wait and you have this sense of patience, I'm sure you will receive the answers that you are looking for. So sometimes being bored and sitting in that boredom can bring about a lot of answers and clarity and ideas. So there is a purpose for boredom. And I try my hardest that whenever I have a big like revelation or aha moment, that I intentionally set time aside to sit down and to write out my thoughts and my feelings, get it all out on paper, so it's not something that I'm carrying around with me. We carry a lot with us. We carry a lot of other people's energy with us. We carry a lot of emotions with us. We carry a lot of ambient stress with us. And when you just sit down and you allow yourself to decompress and to let everything out on the page, eventually what might not have made sense to you before as to like how you were feeling or the things that you were thinking, if you just let yourself go and write and just let all your feelings out, you can look back on it and be like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. That makes sense as to why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling or the things that I was thinking. And there are just times when I'm like, I feel like I'm upset about something. Like I feel like I'm upset about one thing. And then I start writing about it and it carries me into something completely different because it was just a trigger to an already underlying issue. And that's why moments of reflection, time of reflection and time to just sit in your silence is so important, and I highly recommend that you try. And again, you don't have to come up with a regular routine. I know some people do like a weekly dump. I would say I'm hitting like a twice a month if I'm lucky, where I really just sit down and give myself like an hour or two when I feel called to just write my feelings down, and I just sit there and I reread them, and I really just absorb the information, and I'm like connecting the dots in my head, and it makes sense as to why I might have been feeling the way that I was feeling. Or on the flip side, you could be like, wow, I never would have guessed, like I never would have thought that that would have happened, or that this reaction was ultimately because of this event that had already happened. The next two kind of go hand in hand, and also is connected to the hobbies and intentional time with yourself. A big thing that I recently did, and by recently I mean within the last month. So on June 20th, I decided to delete my social media. Like, I deleted the apps off my phone. They have been off of my phone since June 20th. And I haven't gone on TikTok since June 20th. I've gone on Instagram twice because I have it on my iPad, but I haven't been on it for longer than a half hour. And I waited about a week and a half to 2 weeks before I checked Instagram for the first time. And the amount of, let me just tell you, I want to do a whole video on deleting social media and like doing a social media detox, but what I will say in this video is I immediately noticed within the first, I was just gonna do it for the weekend, and then I really started to feel better. Like, with how quick I started to feel better, I knew that I had to continue to do this, because I didn't like the way that I felt when I turned on Instagram and I started scrolling, and then you just mindlessly scroll, and then going on TikTok and you're mindlessly scrolling and you're watching all of these people's lives, and you're just comparing your life to someone who you don't know and their life, which they're showing you the best parts of their life. Of course you're gonna feel like crap about yourself, and I didn't like that feeling anymore. I couldn't handle it anymore. So I took a break and I took a step back. I don't need to be putting myself in a comparison mode. This isn't necessary. Like, I can turn this app off and I don't have to be affected by it, and I did. Now, obviously, deleting social media isn't something that everybody would want to do, and I totally understand that, so do what you're comfortable with, but this is definitely something that I had to mention because it has significantly helped me, and it's helped me be more intentional with my time. It's also helped me with being more intentional with my conversation and my connections with people. And that's my last point, is I used to be really shy, I'll be honest, but now being, living in a completely different state with people who don't know me, I have started slowly but surely to like spread my wings and allow myself the freedom to socialize with people and just start talking, and to remind myself that any connection that is meant for you will work out. You don't have to have the fear of saying the wrong thing to the right person, because the right people will resonate with what you're saying, or at least be intrigued enough to respect you for what you have to say. And that has given me a lot of confidence in the fact of, okay, I can say what I want, and I can say what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling, and the right people will understand me, the right people will respect me, the right people will be, nice about what I have to say and the things that I am feeling. Like, you're never gonna say the wrong thing to the right person. Like, that's just not how it works. And if people don't like what you're doing or don't resonate with what you're doing, okay, they're not meant for you. They're not meant to be in your life, and you can't make every person be meant for you and your life. And I think learning that and having that mindset shift of the right people will find me, I will find the right people just as much as the right people will find me. And I can be my authentic self and be loved for being my authentic self. And I have built a very strong community here, or I'm in the process of building a strong community here. I love talking to the people that live in this apartment community that I live in. I love socializing with them and getting to know them and hearing their life stories. I love that. And even now, I try to push myself to make connections with people when I try new things, when I go to new places. I try to have conversations with people or just complimenting people out in public. Like trying to challenge myself to speak even when I'm not spoken to is something that's truly been helpful for my confidence and my self-worth, because I used to be quiet because I didn't think I was worthy of being heard. And now it's like I'm trying to reprogram my brain into being like, no, you are worthy of being heard. You're worthy of being seen. So make yourself be seen. Make yourself be heard. Compliment somebody. Ask them about their life. Make a connection, because connections are so important to life and to us and to the fulfillment of our soul and our purposes. And there's so much beauty in it, because you can learn so much from people, because everybody lives a different life. So you're learning things from people, and obviously you don't have to resonate or take everything that they say to heart, because again, we're all different and we're all living different lives. But it's nice to hear other people's stories. I love hearing people's stories. So anyway, that's the last thing that I had to share with you guys. I am so thankful for all of you watching this video. I hope that it resonated with you at least a little bit. Tell me in the comments below the point that resonated the most with you and what you want to try to implement in your own life, or things that you already do implement in your life. If I missed anything, like definitely share your advice and things that you do for yourself that you think really benefit your life and would benefit other people's lives. Let's have some communication. Let's have some connection here, people. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a great rest of your day and a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.